A 99% of life today is small, but ancient air birthed giants. But we rank 5 terrifying tiers of giant arthropods. On these creatures ruled Earth long before the dinosaurs. The key to their size lies in ancient atmospheric composition. A high oxygen fueled massive tracheal systems, allowing gigantism. Now that we understand the mechanism, let's explore Tier 1. A Tier 1 of the contemporaries, arthropods still recognizable today. And these insects were already large by modern standards, around 10 centimeters. But they formed the base of the prehistoric insect food chain. But the environment demanded further, radical evolutionary leaps. Moving into Tier 2, the early explorers, reaching 20 centimeters. These were the first true terrestrial megafauna among arthropods. And their sheer biomass significantly altered soil composition and decomposition rates. They moved slowly, utilizing their bulk for defense against smaller predators. They demonstrate evolution favoring armor over speed at this stage. And now that we understand the ground level, let's look skyward Tier 3. A Tier 3 belongs to the aerial Bahamas, the giant dragonflies. Their wings possessed incredible surface area to support their weight. The vision in Tier 3 was unparalleled, designed for high-speed pursuit. They preyed upon smaller flyers, dominating the early skies completely. The world below would often pause as one of these shadows passed. But some creatures required an even greater leap in size and armor. But welcome to Tier 4, the subterranean dominators. These were primarily giant centipedes, armored and blind hunters. Reaching lengths exceeding 2 meters, they patrolled the dark recesses. Their venom delivery was potent, evolved to quickly subdue large prey. And imagine encountering a predator longer than you are tall, underground. Lacking light, they relied entirely on chemical and vibrational cues. These subterranean hunters were formidable, yet they were still surpassed. We enter the apex Tier 5, where true giants held dominion. The absolute rulers were the largest arachnids ever known. But these scorpions sometimes reached lengths near a meter, requiring massive circulatory support. But their stingers were not just for defense, but for paralyzing much larger targets. Their heavy exoskeletons provided protection against all but the very largest threats. But even the colossal Tier 4 centipedes would retreat from this apex hunter. This period shows the maximum limit of terrestrial arthropod size possible. What caused this era of giant arthropods to eventually fade away? As oxygen levels gradually decreased, the energy required became unsustainable. On the tracheal system, efficient for giants, became a critical vulnerability. This decline created vital ecological space for developing vertebrates. A vertebrate lungs, capable of extracting more oxygen per breath, gained advantage. What the world settled into a new equilibrium, favoring different body plans. Let's revisit the most iconic giant Arthropleura, a true Tier 4 member. Its footprint alone suggests a creature requiring significant structural support. Primarily herbivorous, its mouthparts were built for grinding tough vegetation. Contrast this with the Tier 5 scorpion, purely an active predator. Arachnid biochemistry allowed for higher metabolic demands necessary for hunting. Even trace evidence confirms the sheer weight these animals exerted on the substrate. To today, their descendants live in the shadows, constrained by lower oxygen. A modern beetle appears minuscule, almost fragile by comparison. An evolution has favored efficiency and small stature in our current atmosphere. This prehistoric apex demonstrates environmental plasticity in action. I'd imagine the soundscape buzzing, clicking, and crushing underfoot constantly. Batter waterways were choked with detritus and navigated by armored behemoths. But the plant life had to evolve thicker bark just to survive grazing. But their eyes, massive and multifaceted, saw a world saturated with life. The sheer biomass they consumed drove massive nutrient recycling rates. From the small crawlers of Tier 1 to the scorpion kings of Tier 5. These giants serve as a powerful reminder of Earth's potential for extremes. Life adapts to its atmosphere, and sometimes it grows truly terrifying.